Welcome back to Crypto Tutorial. On today's video, I would like to discuss the graph and how it's currently performing and how it will be performing during the upcoming days. But before doing so, I would like to start with my previous video. During my previous The Graph video, I personally thought that we were going to see a major increase during the upcoming 40 days from that point on. Right now, unfortunately, we saw a major decrease, not an increase, and therefore I must apologize, but I'm still very bullish on the graph, and this is why. But before getting started, I would highly appreciate if you could follow me on Twitter at ThoroCrypto, where I will be updating you about all upcoming videos, and as well you will be kept up to date about developments in the cryptocurrency space. So thank you very much already for doing so, and you will be also supporting the channel. Let's take a look at the graph on the 4-hourly time frame compared to the US dollar. And what I am actually very pumped about is that we are seeing this descending resistance line for quite a period of time. This serves as a major level of resistance. We saw multiple touch points, and that is for sure something right now that does look very good to me. And what I would like to zoom in right now very closely at is at this breakout outside of this falling wedge, and if this wedge is actually confirmed. And yes, this wedge is a confirmed pattern. Why? Due to the fact that we have seen 1-2 touch points, the descending resistance, and as well we have seen multiple touch points on this descending support. For sure, I will count this as a retest of the descending resistance to say this is a confirmed pattern, and I personally think it is. So therefore I would like to take a look at where we could be possibly heading towards, and that is actually very easy, because the price target where we could be heading towards, if we see this breakout continue, that would be at approximately this point in time. That is somewhere around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement at $78. So that's still a long way to go for the upcoming days, and I still think as well that the graph has a lot of potential, not just this 13.9% move that will be for sure quite inevitable during the upcoming days, but as well I think it has a lot of potential for the long run during 2021 and as well Q1 of 2022. So this being said, I would like to discuss right now what the levels of resistance on top of us are, and therefore I would like to enable the EMA ribbon. You could clearly see that the EMA ribbon served as a major level of resistance previously. We were not able to change that downward momentum. We spiked twice above the EMA ribbon, but it did not hold strong as a level of support, and unfortunately we continued with the downtrend. Right now you can clearly see that we are actually heading towards a breakout above the EMA ribbon, and therefore I think it is very good to know that right now it could perhaps secure that we are going to find support on top of it and head towards that upward direction, seeing an increase in the price action of the graph. Also, if we take a look at the 9-day moving average, you can clearly see that the 9-day moving average has been supporting us. This is mostly good to know for the imminent short term. Just so you know, this is a major level of support as well, and it will be holding strong right aligned with this descending resistance. So perhaps we are going to see once again a retest of this area before heading even further towards the upside, but that's not something that does concern me actually. This being said, I would like to head towards other major indicator for me, and that is actually the MACD. And if we take a look at the MACD, you can clearly see that we have been experiencing major momentum towards the upside during the past hours. And on the daily time frame, if we take a look over there, you can clearly see that we might perhaps head towards a crossover. Therefore I am very bullish right now on the graph. And as well, if we take a look at previous development, once we saw for the very last time a crossover on the daily MACD occur, we saw exponential growth afterwards. We talked about this as well during my previous video. If you take a look at this point in time, this was when the crossover occurred. I will be selecting it, and if we head towards its all-time high, you can clearly see that it was a 107% move from that point on. So I think something similar is very likely to occur, but especially I would like to take a look as well at the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, unfortunately, we are seeing the MACD not holding very strong right now, but I think this will be for sure and not the case, due to the fact that if we are able to see a crossover on the daily time frame on the MACD, we are for sure not going to experience even more downward momentum on the weekly time frame. But it is for sure something you would like to consider right now if you would like to purchase the graph. So when are you actually completely sure that the graph will be heading towards an upward direction? That is something I would like to enable on this over here by placing the 200-day moving average. And the 200-day moving average is for me actually very important. And if we take a look at this over here, the 200-day moving average is actually far above the price action where we're currently at. And what I must admit is that once we break out above the 200-day moving average, at that point in time is when we are going to see exponential growth towards the upside. But perhaps you are actually going to be too late already to buy at a cheap price, due to the fact that we are experiencing already from this point on almost 53% increase before we are going to reach towards the 200-day moving average on the daily time frame. And therefore I think it is something you do not want to do at that point in time, but you would like to purchase it right now. So if we take a look at the shorter time frame, what is going to be a good buying opportunity? Yes, for sure, you can wait until we are actually going to see this breakout occur all the way towards the 0.5 and actually being able to break out above the EMA ribbon, finding support on top of the 0.5 Fibonacci level at approximately $78 due to the fact that afterwards we are for sure going to see an inevitable move towards the upside. So this being discussed, what I'm going to say is the price target for the month October for 2021, quarter 4 on the cryptocurrency market. For me right now, I am very bullish on the graph, and I must admit that my price target is going to be reaching the 200-day moving average, retesting it, perhaps afterwards seeing a rejection, finding support on top of the 0.236 Fibonacci level, but for sure seeing the $1 getting reached on the graph before November 2021 is the target I am sure will occur during the upcoming months. This being said, if you would like to purchase the graph and you don't have an exchange, do not forget to sign up by using the links down below, and you can earn as well up to $2,000 deposit bonus on Femex and up to $1,610 deposit bonus on Bybit, and it will be highly appreciated because you will be supporting the channel by doing so. But as well on Binance, you can use the link down below and you will be supporting the channel once you purchase cryptocurrencies, and that will be absolutely highly appreciated. If we take a look, lastly, I would like to discuss the graph compared to Bitcoin chart, and what I would like to do over here is actually discuss, this was the previous uptrend. You can clearly see that we had multiple touch points over there, and right now we are experiencing that downward momentum. So as well over here, I must admit that the graph is actually performing very well, and why I do actually think so is something I would like to explain right away. So if we disable these moving averages, what I would like to show you is actually the previous uptrend. And I would like to place a Fibonacci retracement from swing low towards swing high from this previous momentum towards the upside. So you can clearly see that we are right now underneath the 0.786 Fibonacci compared to Bitcoin. But right now, I must say something that must concern you, and that is I personally think that we are heading straight back up, finding support on top of it and perhaps even further. But what is of utmost important over here, and something I want to discuss on the 4-hourly time frame, is actually if we take a look at the EMA ribbon, it looks very good to me right now due to the fact that we are going to retest the EMA ribbon for the 4th or 5th time. But if we are able to break out above it, find support on top of the 0.786, we for sure will be starting a trend reversal. Therefore, I think that is something very important right away to take into consideration. And what is a trend reversal right now, and how does it actually look like? Well, you could perhaps place it like this, and then you could clearly see that we are actually right now experiencing already the trend reversal occur. We have already seen multiple touch points on this descending resistance. We have seen 1, 2, 3 touch points before we were able to break out above it. We might perhaps see a retest, but afterwards I think it's very likely that we are going to see the graph strength compared to Bitcoin head towards the 0.786, for sure that will be very good for a healthy movement towards the upside. What I must admit as well that does look actually very good to me thing is that if we are right now seeing this trend reversal occur on the 4-hourly time frame, we are clearly creating this higher low structure, and therefore I still think it is very bullish to see this. We are creating a higher low structure in the overall price action and the overall strength compared to Bitcoin, and therefore we could see a steady increase afterwards. Right now, breaking the trend is the most important thing for the graph. On the graph compared to Bitcoin chart, for sure this is the trend reversal that we are currently seeing, but afterwards, if we see a breakout above the EMA ribbon, we must for sure consider that there are going to be major levels of resistance further above that you have to take into consideration, and one of those levels is actually this horizontal level of support and resistance at approximately 0.618 Fibonacci. And for sure you have to take that one into consideration due to the fact that we experienced previously a lot of resistance underneath. We found support on top of it, and if we take a look further in the past, we saw a lot of resistance underneath. So therefore the 0.618 Fibonacci is for sure the level we have to take into consideration. If we break out above this level, we will for sure see eventually exponential growth afterwards. Right now, lastly, I would like to discuss the MACD on the 4-hourly and daily time frame. On the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that the MACD is looking very well. We have right now seen a crossover occur on the 4-hourly time frame. We are experiencing momentum towards the upside. That is for sure something of absolute importance. And if we take a look at the daily time frame, we are right over here as well, heading towards a crossover. Therefore, if we see this crossover eventually occur, we might perhaps be already above the 0.618, and we could continue with an increase in strength compared to Bitcoin. So thank you very much, and do not forget that the price target for November 2021 is going to be $1 exactly for the graph. So thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye bye.
Yeah, I've been on Uniswap, now I'm out